Imagine living in a kingdom where your very identity could lead to your undoing. A kingdom where the ruler's whims dictate your fate. Now picture being called to stand before this king, not just to save your life, but to change the destiny of your entire people. This is the story of Esther, a young Jewish woman who rose from obscurity to become one of the most powerful queens in history. But her true strength was not in her position. It was in her courage, faith, and unshakable belief that she was born for such a time as this. Esther's journey begins in the most unlikely of places, exiled in a foreign land. The story unfolds in the Persian Empire, one of the largest and most influential kingdoms in the ancient world. At its helm, King Xerxes, a ruler known for his indulgence and arrogance, faced a threat to his throne from the very people who raised him, the Jewish exiles scattered throughout his kingdom. King Xerxes, after a lavish feast and a series of poor decisions, decides to dethrone his queen, Vashti, for not obeying his command. But his choice leaves a void, one that he seeks to fill by searching for a new queen. And so, the search begins. A search that would change the fate of an entire people. Among those chosen was Esther, a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai. Little did she know, this was the beginning of a journey that would require all her courage and faith. Esther, known for her beauty and grace, is brought into the king's harem. But behind her beauty was a young woman of integrity, faith, and wisdom. With Mordecai's guidance, she keeps her Jewish identity a secret, knowing that revealing it could lead to her downfall. Mordecai, a trusted figure in the palace gates, keeps watch over Esther, advising her to maintain her silence about their heritage. But Esther's loyalty to her people is about to be tested in ways she never imagined. Enter Haman, a man of immense power and pride. After King Xerxes elevates him to the highest position in the empire, Haman's ambition knows no bounds. But there is one thing he cannot tolerate: Mordecai's refusal to bow to him. Haman, blinded by rage, devises a plan to wipe out the Jewish people, believing that destroying Mordecai will rid him of this insult forever. Using the king's ignorance and the laws of Persia, Haman convinces Xerxes to issue an edict that condemns all Jews to death. The decree is sealed, and the fate of the Jewish people seems sealed as well. But then, Mordecai sends a message to Esther. The weight of the message is immense. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther is faced with an unimaginable choice. To approach the king without being summoned could result in her death, but staying silent could mean the death of her people. In this moment of desperation, Esther chooses courage. She instructs Mordecai to gather all the Jews to fast and pray for 3 days and nights. She, too, will fast, and after this time, she will go to the king, even if it means risking her life. On the 3rd day, Esther dresses in her royal robes and enters the king's court. The tension in the air is palpable. Xerxes, seeing her approach, holds out the golden scepter, an act of mercy. She has been granted her life, but now she must make her case. Instead of revealing her request immediately, Esther invites the king and Haman to a feast, setting the stage for the momentous revelation that will change everything. At the second banquet, Esther reveals her identity to King Xerxes and pleads for her life and the lives of her people. With unshakable courage, she exposes Haman's plot to annihilate the Jews. The king, enraged by Haman's treachery, orders his immediate execution, and the edict against the Jews is reversed. The Jews are saved, and a new decree is issued, allowing them to protect themselves. What was meant for destruction is turned into victory. Esther's courage, faith, and obedience to God's call bring about the salvation of her people. Esther's story is one of immense courage, faith, and the power of one person to change the course of history. She is celebrated not only for her bravery, but for her willingness to trust in God's plan, even when the odds seemed impossible. Her actions remind us that sometimes We are called to rise up for such a time as this, and in doing so, we can be the vessels through which God's purpose is fulfilled. Esther's legacy lives on as a testament to faith and courage, and her story continues to inspire millions. May we too find the courage to step up when our faith is tested and trust in God's plan, knowing that we too are born for such a time as this.